It's Wednesday, March the 29th, and you're tuned in to the tniab podcast. I'm Vince.
And I'm lounging.
That's right.
I'm Anthony.
Okay. This is the Geek Chic Culture Show. We talk about all the coolest things in the world. Cool things include superheroes, video games, and movies.
I have a cool thing that's not from this world. Am I allowed to talk about it?
I mean, I could be the judge of that.
Okay.
As the ambassador of all that is cool.
No, but can I yes or no?
Sure.
Okay, I don't actually have anything. I just want to know.
All right.
If I could.
Well, that's strike one. So there you go.
So I found this coin.
Oh yeah.
Right. I was hanging out in the quarry. I found this coin, and I think I found something out of this world. It was like a spaceship, and there was a guy in a wall. And he was talking to me.
Oh yeah.
No, wait, that was a movie.
That's right. That's the movie we saw today. We saw Saban's Power Rangers.
We did see Saban's Power Rangers.
And that is the official movie title. It is literally Saban's 'S Power Rangers.
I can't tell if you're messing with me or not.
No, really. That's like if you were to look it up right now on IMDb, it is Saban 'S.
That's hilarious.
Power Rangers.
That's great.
It's not Mighty Morphin. It's Saban's Power Rangers.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And Saban, of course, the creator of Power Rangers. And if you... little history lesson. Saban did Power Rangers up until, I think, the late 90s.
Okay.
Until which then he sold this franchise off to Disney.
Okay.
And then Disney had the rights to Power Rangers. What's up?
Which is... Okay, finish your history lesson, but then I got a question.
Okay. And then in the late aughts...
Okay.
Disney sold Power Rangers back to Saban.
Huh.
And Saban has the rights to Power Rangers now.
Wow.
Yep.
So my question is, how can Power Rangers be anything other than toys? Because all that show is some like very light acting on very 90s sets, with the rest of it being ripped straight from the Japanese show.
It's in the contract. It's the rights that they said.
Wow.
Because Power Rangers is licensed as an original property.
As an original property, but it's like it is, but it isn't.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things like that happened in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Right? It's like...
Is that the whole Macross Harmony Gold thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. Robotech technically is separate.
Yeah.
Even though it is. But when I tell you that Power Rangers is the same, I'll disagree and be a total hypocrite.
Okay.
Because that's how I see it.
All right.
Yeah. It's... legally they are different, but technically they're the same.
Okay, legally they're different, but okay, yep.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
There you go. So we saw Power Rangers is the reboot of the original 1993 series. We got all your favorites. We got the Jason, we got the Kimberly, the Trini, Zach, and...
I thought her name was Dee Dee.
I didn't understand that joke.
I didn't understand that joke either.
Yeah, like, what are they trying to say?
Were they saying that a lot of people confused her for someone named Dee Dee?
Yeah, because I never got that.
I never got that either.
It didn't click with me. Anyways, also, the last character is Billy. Like, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Billy the Blue
FYI.
One. Yeah. And unlike the original one, they switched up the races and the colors.
Yep.
So in the original Power Rangers, it was like, hey, the yellow lady or the Asian chick is yellow.
Yeah.
The black boy is the Black Ranger.
I don't get why they would choose that.
I don't know, but
that makes no sense.
So that's why in this one they kind of flipped it.
They even like reference it a lot, which I guess we'll get to.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a complete reimagining. So even though it does a lot of things that I would say capture the spirit of the original Power Rangers,
it does a lot of things.
I will also go on to say that it is wholly original.
Is it though? Is it?
There's no rip footage from Japan.
No, there is not.
So it is 100% original.
I guess.
It is 100%
Our definitions of original may differ.
And Rita's a
smoking hot babe.
She sure is.
She is not repulsive.
They changed the lore a little bit, so the movie opens up and it's like somewhere in the prehistoric age, there was a big calamity on Earth.
Yeah, and the meteor that killed the dinosaurs
was summoned by
a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Rita used to be there was always 6 Power Rangers. Rita Repulsive was the green.
And she went rogue.
And she fucking killed all the Rangers.
And everything.
Yeah. And all life on Earth.
Yeah.
All in the pursuit of a crystal. The Zeo crystal.
What was it, 35 million years later?
65.
65. There you
right?
go.
The Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The whatever. Dinosaurs dead. And she gets banished. So we skip to today. A couple teenagers with issues, not with attitude.
Did they have baditude?
Some might, no.
No,
Some might say, I mean, sure.
not even the Black Ranger. He had some baditude.
That dude was pretty bad.
He was pretty baditude.
Yeah, he was. He was the most baditude. I mean, there's no denying it. They really said we need a cool Asian dude.
Yeah, we need DK back.
Yeah.
We need a DK alike.
Yeah, which is nice to see. It's not often you get to see like the Asian dude in the spotlight.
Yeah,
right. So it's fun.
Like I think what that movie did, even though it was very self-referential in beating you over the head with, "Hey, we're multicultural."
Yeah,
and like genders don't matter.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of having the diverse cast matter. They even though they did that one thing where the token black guy did something that is generic in every movie.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So
I think they went to... I'm going to sound like such an awful person for saying this, but I feel like they needed to have another, like, just straight up white girl.
I don't even know if they needed that. I think they needed someone
with
you're
right.
They just different hair color.
Yeah, they picked two, like, the two chicks on the team. They're like both, you could tell they're like of mixed background.
Yeah, like some sort of Latina
mix or Middle Eastern
mix.
Maybe even like Asian, who knows.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they kind of look the same.
Yep.
And in a lot of the scenes, in the dark scenes, I could not tell them apart.
No, and like the dark scenes are dark.
Yeah.
Right? There's like no lighting. It's like Doom 3 dark, if you get that reference.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was actually hard to tell certain characters apart during that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like a little thing of like, oh, Kimberly's supposed to be this like preppy cheerleader, right? Yeah. But she's got like this alt rock black hair look going
like
on.
Like edginess to
her. Right? And like just something to differentiate the characters more.
Yeah.
Would have been really helpful.
Because it didn't help that Trini was also like this sort of
same skin tone, also black hair.
Yeah.
But it was longer. But she had the short on one side. So it was like, depending on the angle, you're like, is that her or is that Kimberly? I can't tell.
Yeah, and she also had the same sort of personality type where she's like, I'm a kind of like awkward weirdo out of my...
independent woman.
Yeah. Don't touch me.
I don't need no woman.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, the cast is cool. I mean, I think Jason is... like, they picked...
They picked Jason. They picked the quarterback. That's who he is.
Although they...
No karate, though.
No karate.
No karate, sorry.
Yeah. And Billy's a nerd.
Yeah, Billy's a dork. So you told me, or not we, but you told me coming into this that you heard Billy is the standout role in this movie.
Yeah.
And 100% agree.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have against Billy is that he is the only character where I feel that that person or that actor got to show off their acting chops. Because everyone else is very generic.
Yeah.
They are moody shitty teenagers that the world is against them and everything sucks.
Yeah.
Until they get this power and realize everything doesn't suck.
Yeah.
But Billy is this guy who he said he mentioned that they're on the spectrum, right? So he has like something with his brain where he can't like recognize regular social like almost autism, like very light autism. And I think like just even Rita, she's like very generic, like ha ha ha, cackling witch, right? I'm gonna get you and your little dog, right?
Yeah.
I think that while Billy was the best, I think in that movie, he was also the only character written for him to be unique and stand out.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth it because of some elements in the story.
Yeah, there are some elements in that story, and then also some jokes where it reminds me of kind of like, remember Titanfall 2 with your interactions with BT?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of that. Like the very, or Batista's character in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? It's a lot of social obliviousness.
Yeah.
And that really comes through as usually a good punchline.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me what you think of the movie.
I don't know what I think of the movie. I'm hoping this conversation, so we just saw it.
Yeah.
We saw the movie, came immediately back here and started recording.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope that this conversation will help me
figure out what
okay,
I'll come back to you.
Okay.
But like going in,
yeah,
I remember seeing the first trailers and being like, "What is this?" what is this mess of a series we're watching?
Yeah.
But as time, but that was like the initial hit when you first see it, right? Because like the suits come out, and then you're like, wow, what's going on?
Okay.
And they're not even saying morphin time; they're just like doing the Iron Man armor on,
and they're in dinosaur times.
Yeah, and I was like, what is going on? But you know, I like after the initial trailers and stuff, and I cooled off on that. I got really hyped for this movie because I was like, yeah, no, it's Power Rangers being original, like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Completely separate from Sentai. And I feel like it's something they should have done a long time ago.
I think we both agree now that a lot of series that we loved as kids, if they bring it back now and it's exactly the same, that would be mostly disappointing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I think the things are there, like everything is of its time, right? It's very few things are timeless.
Yeah.
Correct? And Power Rangers is definitely
not timeless.
It is 100% 1993, my friend. So, as much as I would say, like, love to see the original cast back and, like, or just an updated version of what that show was, I know that if that were to happen, I would hate it.
Yeah.
So I got excited for this movie. We go in, and I gotta say, I was a little hesitant on the intro and like how it was initially started off because
like the retcon of Power Rangers history and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's things about it that I was a little questioning, like I might do some go into slight spoilers, so you guys would know that already. But I didn't like how Jason, like the core of the team, he was flawed from the outset.
Oh, like from the jump, he was flawed.
Okay. Yeah, like I know he's the leader of the team, and in my mind, maybe it's because I've always like read the best as a kid, but it's like Jason was always like the moral compass. He was the guy who like that's why he was the leader, right?
That's fair.
Like they always turned to him in moments of doubt, and he was supposed to guide them. So when the movie opens up and he's got an anklet on him for committing a felony, you're just like, what? He threw away his football scholarship.
Yeah, he's under for seemingly no reason. Like we don't understand. Like there's a prank going on.
Yeah,
but like, why would you go so far as to commit a felony? Like this person hasn't made a lot. Yeah. What motivation does he have to throw his life away?
So like when the movie opens up with that scene, I'm just like, oh man, I hope like we don't get more of this because I don't like the direction this is going in. But thankfully it moves away from that, and it kind of like as the movie progresses. Jason's character is completely counterintuitive to his situation. Like, because in the next scene, it's weird. He comes into detention and he plays hero. And you're like, wait, why would how could this guy also be the same guy?
Why would quarterback all of a sudden be like, hey, I'll help out the dork? Or like maybe that's the thing of like, remember watching 21 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Where they have the joke of like, no, you gotta one strap it. It's cool. You got a one strap. Everyone's two strapping it, right? So like maybe high school is different now than what we know.
Maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, like that makes no sense to me. Like he's cool boy jock, threw his life away, and then counteracted both of those by sticking up for this guy. He has no clue what he's about, right? He has no reason to intervene.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden he's a moral compass.
Yeah, and then throughout the movie he is the Jason you expect him to be.
And sometimes he's not. Yeah. Like he will turn off his moral compass seemingly in relation to the plot needs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's my biggest issue with the movie. Aside from that, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun. I thought, they took a lot of time building the team camaraderie. Like it wasn't completely smooth, and there were obvious moments where it's like, no, we're just gonna sit down and do character building with each other. Yeah. But like I enjoyed it, and
they had a montage. They had
they had the training montage.
They had a powwow.
They had like a little bit of a breakdown, and they came back together.
It was almost a Rocky movie.
Yeah, and then towards the end they all got the suits, and they did the putty fight, and then giant robots and Goldar, and like it was for me. I thought it was a great blending of what I expect from say a ridiculous summer movie blockbuster, but it also knew what it was.
Okay, so I think that's where I don't think this movie knows what it wanted to be.
So here's the thing. I think of the Transformers films, right?
Yeah.
And I think about how ridiculous those movies are.
Mhm.
But the Transformers movies are drinking their own Kool-Aid, and they're super serious about what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
And I think that's what makes the Transformers movies a little tough to bear.
Okay.
Whereas with Power Rangers, I found that it's like, yeah, this movie's completely dumb, and there's like a lot of dumb shit that's going on, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, it understands its audience, it understands its roots, and it never goes to the point where it's like, this is 100% serious stuff. And I throughout the movie, like there are moments, like even when they play their jokes, it's like I felt like they fit because they understood that like the people watching this movie at some point they're like, yeah, we're not gonna question it,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. So that's your take.
I
guess?
really enjoyed it.
So for me though, I was watching the movie and I couldn't help but keep thinking that the movie didn't know what it wanted to be. You have this tone throughout the movie, and like maybe it's lighting, maybe it's setting. Like I feel like the tone throughout the movie is super duper serious, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna make this gritty, drama filled life," and this is the new Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
But then they go back and reference stuff from original Power Rangers.
Yeah.
To their own detriment, like where it doesn't feel okay. There is a scene where they are running, right, and they have the side shot, and a song plays, and that was the most out of place thing I've ever seen in a movie.
Yes,
right, and it's stuff like that where I was very confused on what the movie wanted to go for.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I will say, remember, this is a kid's movie.
It is also a kid's movie, yes.
Yes.
Right. But when I think of stuff where... I think that's where I can't let go. Where... When I think of stuff where it's like, I love movies that are so dumb they're cool.
Yeah.
And this movie has a lot of that.
Yeah.
There are certain scenes where like, holy shit, that was so stupid, but I loved it, right?
Yeah.
When I think of Tokyo Drift, right? Just scenes of them drifting in the car park. Like, that's a dumb scene, right? It's just him crashing over and over again. Yeah. But it still fits with the context. When I think of Real Steel, or not Real Steel Boxing, or when I think of Pacific Rim, right? The scene where they fly to space and he gets a sword out of the back for no reason. Like, that is super dumb. But it still is within the context of the tone they're trying to set.
But then I would argue, like, with those two movies you referenced, those are not kids' movies.
They are not. So that's the thing I'm trying to come back at. Where I feel like if I was a kid, I would be in a weird situation where that looked cool to me because I was like, I'm a child, right? But I also don't have the reference point for what just happened on screen. So I don't know who they're trying to appease to. Are they trying to appease to moody teenagers? Are they trying to appease to adults that are also seeing this movie? Or are they just trying to go to kids? Or are they trying to go to all three and failing?
Who knows?
Right.
I think at some point they realized that. So even though the movie's based about teenagers and their issues, I don't think the movie is aiming for that demographic at all.
It started off like that, and then it turned into something else.
Right? I think it's totally they're aiming for the young kids, and then the adults who are nostalgic for Power Rangers.
So like the adults who are taking their kids and they're like, "Hey, this is the thing I watch."
I don't know if you looked around in the theater. We saw a Late Show.
Yeah,
everyone in that theater was around 30.
Yeah,
and they were there because they saw this.
They probably saw Power Rangers
when they were a kid, and I feel like there's stuff in this movie that they do that are there just to appeal to that crowd.
Okay,
and I do feel like I get your point where it's like it can seem a little jumpy in terms of its tone, but I just attribute that that's a kids movie. Kids movies have always been sort of like we got to keep moving.
Yeah, okay, like, if I think about the Lego movie, like, that's always move, scene, but it's never, like, what I'm trying to say is that it never changes tone.
No.
It's always, from the get-go, bright, happy colors, but this one, from the jump, is dark, moody, depressing, turns into moral dilemma, let's be friends, and then turns into Power Rangers.
That story you just described, I feel like that's every setup to every kids movie, right?
Maybe I just don't watch enough kids movies.
Because, like, you know how it's kind of like, it always starts out with, like, kid comes from a broken family, or a kid moves to new kid in town, or like, and it's like it starts off really sad, and then they make friends, and then these friends do stuff, and then bam.
Maybe I haven't, like, I've been so detached from kids movies for so long that I just forgot, but like, it makes sense when you say it like that.
Like, at least that's how I see it. I mean, I will totally agree that the visual style they went for may be a little too
I don't want to say adult.
No, but it's, you know how like the Transformers films are like really like
gray?
Yeah. I feel like if this movie just went for a bit more color, it would, or like even if they just had brighter lights throughout most of the scenes, it would make,
which I think is what it needed.
Yeah, I think it would just, because even when they made the Zords and the Megazord at the end, or the Mamazord, I was like, that's really gray, and just like, surprisingly, Rita Repulsa and Goldar are the most colorful things in this movie.
Yes.
And it's so weird.
It's off-putting to the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Like, this person who stands out so much. And, like, it's Goldar. You can't really make him gray.
Yeah.
Right? But they are the most eye-catching things.
Yeah.
Right? Where everyone else kind of blends in. Even the Rangers in their suits.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but they designed a suit while still being all of a color, all a solid color, is dull.
Yeah.
Even the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
Or
even a lot of the set dressing. Like, I can't believe when they get to the spaceship, it's just silver.
It's all like stainless steel.
Yeah. And I wish I had a bit more color in the background.
They played around with like some purples and stuff with like the spacey aspects.
Yeah, but I do wish the movie just had more color to it.
Yeah.
I think that would have really matched the tone of the film.
I want like a fan color edit.
That would be super cool.
That would be cool. Just drag the contrast bar all the way.
Yeah, like, I don't think this is the type of movie where they need to be like, let's just DC this shit up Batman style.
Yeah, when I think of Power Rangers, I think of them all posing and then their colored fireworks exploding behind them.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So yeah, I think I enjoyed the movie less than you.
Totally,
but I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
right. I think that movie still had some really great moments.
It had a ton of great moments.
It did, and there's a lot of funny stuff to be had, especially with Billy's character and the way Billy interacts with other people.
Yeah,
right. And Rita Repulsa was evil.
I can't believe how evil she was.
She was devilish.
Yeah.
Just the things she does to other people. Like, she straight up murders people.
Yep.
Right?
She comes to the Rangers in their sleep.
Eats them.
Oh, yeah. She does do that.
So, that's, again, another thing of, like, here's this thing that's supposed to be colorful, kids movie, whatever, and then here's this villain that is just, like, evil incarnate.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like, definitely the, let's say, I don't know how I can put this. Kids movies today, I will admit the level of maturity that they're allowed to put in is definitely a lot higher than when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's how they got away with it, but...
This is like, I forgot what rating this movie was. It's like 14A?
No, it's PG. No?
Is it PG for real? Just straight PG?
There's no blood.
Oh, yeah, there is no blood.
Except for when Jason trips.
Let's see. I got the ticker right here. PG?
PG?
Hot damn.
Yeah. I think the only time there's blood is when Jason trips.
Oh, yeah, and
he spits blood.
No, when he falls from the...
Yeah, that's it.
And he spits out blood, and that's it. That's the only blood you ever see.
There's censoring in the Zords.
Yeah.
For when they're swearing.
There's self-censoring from characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
The rating system is weird.
It sure is.
And maybe it's making movies worse.
Yeah, it's kind of busted,
That's kind of maybe a broader conversation to have
with
people who know more about movies.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say on this movie?
That ending scene is dumb,
but it's great,
and I love it.
It's great,
right?
There's a lot of great things.
Yeah, there's a lot of totally great things, but I think those great things go in the face of the tone of that movie.
Okay,
just like straight. It's two worlds colliding together, and they tried to make something of it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like, if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 3.
Yeah.
Like a low 3.
Yeah. I'm on a 4.
You're on a 4?
I'm just like, damn, I'd watch that again.
Yeah.
Or like,
it's fine.
Maybe not again, but like, I can't wait for the sequel.
Okay. Because there is going to be a sequel. There are scenes at the end where it's like, okay, you set this up for a sequel. Yeah. And also, Hollywood mentality is that anything can be a sequel. Mm-hmm. Let's just throw it in the story.
Yeah, there you go. Sweet.
I did sound kind of down on it. I'm realizing this, but like I did think it was. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fine movie. I didn't hate it.
Good. So there you go. Power Rangers. Check it out. It's worth it.
Is it?
So yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. See it on a cheap night.
Yeah. Speaking of other, we'll say shows from our past.
Okay. That
are getting reboots.
All right.
Read this tweet from me, Anthony, from ytv.com.
I'm sorry, what? YTV.com says, Reboot is back. Take a first look at our live-action reimagining of Reboot.
What? Can you describe this image for me?
And this guy's eating a banana. It's multicultural cast, kind of, with a child. One dude's eating a pizza, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy's eating a banana.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at an iMac.
Mm-hmm.
All amazed.
Interesting, huh? So what part of that screams Reboot to you?
None of it.
Okay.
0%.
Okay, all right. I got a second image for you just to see because, my friend questioned, what part of this is Reboot? So now I want you to read the second tweet.
That one looks like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and it 100%. This reads Tokusatsu to me. What is this picture?
That is another screen from the new Reboot.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This looks like the video game segments of Saints Row 3 and 4.
So what Anthony's... so basically, it's a live-action reboot, but it looks like there are CG elements, and from the pictures we have, I gather that it is 5 kids playing Power Rangers Reboot style, jumping into computers.
Okay.
Which basically is Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
So, okay. CG is huge.
Yeah.
There is CG everywhere you look in media.
Yeah.
This was the one time they could have used CG and it would have been fine. Because that reboot is all CG. They could have used sick future tech to remake a reboot or a reimagining of... They could have rebooted Reboot.
They could have.
And they didn't. They chose not to. I hope this is not too loud. I'm yelling away from the microphone as to not deafen your ears. But what the fuck? Like,
are you angry?
I'm baffled.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm angry. It is almost to me a stupid decision.
Okay.
That they would go live action when they could both appease fans,
yes,
and hook new kids because CG is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it is the new hotness. Why not use that to your advantage to take the show that made CG cool, at least in Canada, and do it again and do it right.
Oh. But, so you say something interesting. Reboot was the show that was doing CG when CG wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And now CG's cool.
Oh, so they're taking the hipster route.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that. It's still dumb. I didn't think of it. Maybe I didn't think of it because it's dumb.
There you have it. I have nothing else to say on that. I mean, I am just as like
I don't know what to say about that.
I don't. Yeah, no. Reboot was something I loved growing up, and this is not that.
As someone who owns a Reboot art book signed by the artist,
oh man,
why? What? Okay, I'm gonna go back on the nostalgia train too.
Yeah.
So I got something. It's you remember StarCraft?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever I had a lot of friends who were like, "Man, I'm so good at StarCraft. I could beat those Koreans." And I'm like, "No, you can't."
Yeah.
Because they're Korean.
Yeah.
Right. But now you can pretend to be Korean all over again, because in 4K.
What?
Because they are remastering StarCraft 1.
What?
Yeah. Blizzard is remastering StarCraft 1 in 4K.
Why?
Because esports are hot. And I don't think remasters are actually hard to make. Like, I feel like companies pump those things out like nobody's issue, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And I've seen bad ones, like the Silent Hill collection is terrible
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff. But yeah, so you can now, or you will be able to play StarCraft 1 in 4K through Battle.net.
Damn.
And it's due out this summer.
For a price, I'm assuming.
For a price. I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay.
I highly doubt it's free.
All right.
Um,
Wow, StarCraft remastered.
They mention it in the trailer as an esports phenomenon. Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, all right.
Like, it's just a bunch of pictures of like old Korean footage of people playing StarCraft and booths and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there's that.
Is there going to be a 4x3 mode?
Maybe. If you're crazy. See,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for like the Warcraft 3 up-res, because like that was a game I hear people just losing their mind about, but I never played.
People like that game because of the one mode.
The Dota mode?
Yeah.
Oh, so they made Dota.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like that's why Warcraft 3 was popular, because it had that one little
Oh, I thought Warcraft 3 was popular
No.
because Warcraft 3.
like yes.
I know Dota was its own thing,
Yeah.
but I thought Warcraft 3 was still like cool on its own.
Like it is, but make no mistake, Warcraft 3's popularity stemmed from that spin-off mode that gave us Dota.
Okay.
That's what it was.
That's fair.
Cool. Since we're on the topic of like remakes and reimaginings, let's go to the next one.
Which one?
Netflix has gotten the rights to make a Death Note movie.
Oh, you mean that hot Japanese anime you kids are always talking about?
Yeah, the one that's an international phenomenon.
Please tell me about your Japanese animes.
Well, first of all, it's done by Netflix, aka Hollywood, aka Everyone's White.
AKA everyone. That's a good subtitle. Okay, so I gotta ask you,
Yeah.
as someone who is
Not white?
maybe Asian, depending on how you feel that day,
Okay.
right? Because you could be Asian, you could be Pacific Island. I don't know.
I could be Canadian.
I could be Canadian. I don't know what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want. Does this offend you in any way that they have made a live action thing featuring mostly white people?
Not really.
Okay.
But I mean, I say that as someone who's like, well, it's the anime. And the anime... Well, here's the thing. It depends on how this movie is framed.
If it's in Tokyo, like,
Yes,
why-
if it's in Tokyo and he's white, then I'll be like, what the fuck?
Okay.
But if it's like, oh, check it out, this boy's raised in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh no, what's not? It can't be. It'd be like New York.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
He's
city.
high school in New York, and then
What if it's Toronto?
better. He's in Toronto and he's raised there, and it's like, boom. I fully expect him to be white. He could be black because that's the culture in that city.
One of the side characters is black. Who, I believe his name is Light. Light is black, I believe.
Okay.
And in the other show, he's also Japanese.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that's fine, but no, I mean like the white casting. I don't know. That's expected. I mean, there's been Death Note. There's been Japanese Death Note films. There's been other things.
So I accidentally I got into a Twitter battle, and I didn't know how I did it because I thought I was just being very nonchalant about it.
Mm-hmm.
So a person posted up. There's a lot of jokes going around on the Twitterscape of just like here. Someone posted pretty much a picture from The Office.
Yes,
where it's Dwight with a post-it note on his head that says Asian. So I guess they're playing like Heads Up, right?
Yeah.
And then someone just put Death Note at the top. So I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Right. So I posted though, I'm like, hey, if you did want to watch a Death Note live action with Asian people, they made two Asian live action, like two Japanese live actions.
Yeah.
And then people got so mad at me. And they're like, it's not about that. It's supposed to be made here and blah, blah, blah. And there was like, I've never felt the brunt of the internet before until now.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I mean, like, I understand that, like, it shouldn't, like, just because it's made in Hollywood, the expectation shouldn't be, well, they should be white then.
Yeah, I do understand.
I understand that argument. But at the same time, it's like, listen, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, they got the rights. They can kind of do what they want.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that I feel they are trying to strip anything cultural about that from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're just trying to strip it away.
Yeah.
Because instead of saying it is a Japanese phenomenon or like a hit Japanese whatever, they are saying international. It's very vague.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The marketing around it seems like, hey, white people,
Mm-hmm.
check out this thing. It's not this Asian thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which I assume there was some market test somewhere that was like, hey, you'll get more views
Sure.
if you do it this way,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know if that brings people to of a wider audience to maybe
Check it
anime
out.
or manga
Yeah.
or to just to see it. Like
Yeah.
that's cool with me.
Yeah. I mean, and let's not forget, in other countries, the same thing happens the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, have you not seen the Japanese version of Cinderella?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Right. I mean, someone would say Cinderella's white. Not in Japan.
Not in Japan.
Nope.
Shi Nihongo.
There you go. So I mean, like, that stuff happens. But I mean, yeah, it's America. What did
Yeah.
you expect is going to happen? I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be cool if it was an Asian dude, but oh well.
I feel like sometimes I come at things from like too much of a business mindset,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, well, I totally understand why this would happen, but then also like I'm white, so I can't understand if I'm just like quote unquote flexing my privilege.
You are. But,
Maybe Trump was getting to me. I don't know.
yeah, maybe. But no,
But-
there you go. Death
Did
Note.
you like Death Note?
I never finished it.
Really?
Yeah.
Neither did I. But okay, why didn't you finish it?
I don't know. To be honest, I never really got into it.
I started watching it and I thought that had a really great premise. And in my head, even then, I'm like, as long as this doesn't go, main character gets drunk with power and then goes nuts,
Yeah.
it'll be a great show.
Yeah.
And it went main character gets drunk with power
And
and
goes nuts.
goes nuts. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm gonna watch something else.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I've never actually finished it. Maybe I should read it before.
You know, I did watch the two Japanese movies.
Oh, did you? The live actions?
Yeah.
How were those?
They're pretty fun.
All right.
I watched them, but the person I watched them with, they watched the series,
Oh, okay.
and they were like, "Not as good.
Well, Vince, how are the Gurren Lagann movies?
Not as good."
There you go.
So, yeah. Oh, we
Okay.
should say with Death Note, Willem Dafoe is Shinigami Man.
I thought that was good casting. Like, just really creepy voice.
that guy just looks like a villain,
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
he doesn't need makeup.
Thinking going back in video game terms, going to Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah,
William Dafoe as the villain.
I was thinking. I just remember when he was what do you call it? The Green Goblin and Spider-Man.
That too.
And I was like, perfect.
Perfect, right?
Perfect.
I think the most odd casting was when he was someone's friend in John Wick.
Oh, really?
Right? When he was John
Oh, and
Wick.
he's just like a good guy?
Yeah, he was just John Wick's friend. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
You're William
yeah.
Dafoe.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a
He's
dick.
the cool sniper. I think that's why I casted him, because he looks like a villain, so you don't expect him to be the friend,
okay.
right?
That's fine.
Yeah. But there you go, Death Note. Look
That's-
forward to it.
Yeah, that was a funny trailer.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe I'll it's a movie. I'll get through it. Who am I kidding?
It's on Netflix. It'll be the it thing to watch.
We also got a bunch of new superhero trailers.
Yeah.
First, we'll talk about. What do you want to talk about? The League, or you want to talk about Spiders?
What's up about spiders?
You talk about Spiders because he's your favorite.
All right, Spider-Man: Homecoming. So this is the second trailer of Spider-Man: Homecoming, and this one really kind of hammers home what this movie's theme is about, and it's kind of like a father-son movie, only
Like estranged father.
yeah, like Iron Man is trying to raise this up-and-coming kid,
Mm.
trying to teach him to not make the mistakes that he has. It's almost like Spider-Man is getting his moral compass from Tony Stark, which is totally fucked.
Maybe Tony Stark has changed. I don't know.
No, he hasn't.
Maybe I don't know.
But but in this film, it's like Tony Stark is clearly aware that he is not a good person, and he's only trying to show Peter the good side of him.
Okay.
But Peter wants to do more. Peter wants to be like, I don't want to do street level. I want to be an Avenger. I want to save the universe like you guys.
Yeah.
And it is definitely the classic tale of the angsty teen who just wants to prove himself to the world. But there's no rush, bro. There's no rush, Spider-Man.
Yo, come on. Until there is a rush.
Yeah, there's no rush just yet. And in the meantime, Michael Keaton takes the role of the Vulture and, I don't know, robs and kills things.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more interested in seeing it now.
Yeah, I felt that the new trailer had, like, it almost told you, like, the story twist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, really, in the trailer, you need this?
Yeah.
You need this whole switcheroo right here?
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked.
I think this is, like, the first Marvel film to do that with the trailers.
I don't know. I feel like maybe, like, Batman vs. Superman had that a lot, too.
That's
like,
not a Marvel film.
It's not a Marvel film, but it's a superhero film.
Yeah, but I think, like, the Marvel films have been really good at hiding what their movies have been about in the trailers.
Yeah.
And that's why this one seems a bit surprising that they were like, I think we know what's going to happen here. He's going to defeat that dude.
I feel like I got the outset of the whole story synopsis from that trailer.
Yeah.
So if you want to avoid spoilers, like, don't watch it.
Yeah.
But there's cool stuff, like when you say it's like father son kind of thing. He does have, like, Tony Stark does have those lines like, I don't want you to be good, I want you to be better. And I'm like, whoa, Dad, chill. Like, the heck. Or just like speeches of revelation, like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have the suit. Yeah. Like stuff like that. Right. And I thought those were really cool lines, and those would have been really cool reveals. Yeah. If they didn't tell me it beforehand. Yeah. So
unless this movie's hiding something bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. It probably, I hope so. I hope it is. Venom. Carnage. It's hiding Carnage.
No. The other superhero trailer we got was
The League.
Yeah,
the League of Justice.
The Justice of Leagues.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that one?
They managed to make Aquaman cool.
They did. Which
I only thought would happen in the Injustice movies. Or the video game, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's cool. They made Aquaman cool. I really like that.
He is the coolest part of that trailer.
I forget his name.
Me too. Arthur.
Is his name Arthur?
Arthur King of Seas.
No, I thought it was something more. No, I don't think that's what it is.
Are you sure?
No, it's like something like Samoan.
What? It's not Arthur Curry?
No, it's not Arthur Curry. It's not John Smith either. Before you get there.
No, I'm gonna say it's Arthur Curry.
All right. Yeah, and so we get to see pretty much every single character in action. Mm-hmm. I think the only part of that trailer that has me like kind of like what the is Cyborg. Yeah. Cyborg is fully CG, at least in the clips we saw. Yeah. Like there is no practical costuming or makeup on him.
No.
And he looks out of place.
On top of that, I would say the reimagining of this Cyborg is fuck it, he's Iron Man.
He's Iron Man where his one eye is not protected.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's kind of weird.
It's also disappointing.
Yeah.
Other than that, like Superman's still dead. And it's them forming the team. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's going to be it's going to be a generic team movie. It seems like it's going to be, hey, I'm Batman, I'm the leader. I have to, I now have Wonder Woman or whatever. I need to figure out how to get these people together and do what needs to be done. Mm. So, I hope that the movie has something, again, like just like Spider-Man has something like deeper within it, but just from the outset, it's looking like a generic team movie.
Yeah, and let's be real, Superman will appear.
Yeah, if not during the movie, at the end, for sure.
Yeah, he'll appear. The movie plays subtle hints at Batman being again father figure to a Flash. Yep. So there's that to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And they're fighting stuff.
I don't know what they're fighting.
I think it's the same things they're fighting in Batman vs. Superman when Batman has that vision of the future.
Wait, like the guards?
I think. Or when Flash comes from the future to tell them about.
Oh, okay, those ones. Okay, yeah. Okay. I wonder if they'll loop that around.
I think they will.
Or if the Flash will have his own movie. Like, he'll have his own Flashpoint.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I think right now what DC needs to do is where Marvel is very lightly... Like, they have established the Marvel cinematic universe. I think to differentiate themselves, I think DC needs to go wholeheartedly into their dumb comic stuff. I'm not saying you should bring out, like, a cosmic treadmill. But I'm saying that, hey, maybe, like, the Flash can vibrate through walls and stuff. And, like, he can run so fast he breaks the time barrier.
Yeah, he does that all in the TV show.
Right? Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of think they should embrace that within the movies.
Yeah, I think the current theory is that one of the universes is the movieverse and one of the universes is the TV verse.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Speaking of dumb things, you know what the next big thing Marvel is teasing?
What?
Hulk with Wolverine's claws.
What? Wait, in the comics?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know, but it's big because
is it another like Hulk event?
I can't remember. I know Wolverine's dead in the comics right now.
Okay.
And Hulk might be. I can't remember. Anyways, they just show a silhouette, and it's basically the Hulk, but he has the adamantium skeleton, and he has the claws coming out.
What?
Yeah, right. Like, what's the point?
How does that... Okay, I want to know, because Bruce Banner has to transform into the Hulk.
Yeah.
Wolverine is always Wolverine.
Yeah.
What happens to that adamantium skeleton when it goes back into Bruce Banner, and he doesn't have the healing factor to stop adamantium poisoning?
I don't know.
And as I said that, I realized that is the dumbest question I've ever asked.
Yeah.
Because it was super nerdy.
Let's just say he's always going to be the Hulk.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
World War Hulk was really cool, and he was always the Hulk.
Yeah. That, or was it that he's separated from the Hulk? Like the Hulk was his own entity or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, or like the Hulk took over Bruce Banner, and now
Yeah.
Bruce Banner has no control.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Cool. Last thing is a video game teaser
Teaser.
for your favorite game this generation. Destiny the sequel.
No.
Destiny.
It should have been called Destiny. That would have been great.
Like T-O-O-N.
Or it should have just been Destiny : something. Because Destiny 2 sounds dumb.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It sounds like a title.
I don't know. There's something about Destiny where I'm just like, that should be by itself.
No, it's fine.
Like, this is my second Destiny. I've had my Destiny already.
Sure.
Here's my other Destiny.
Is that like Reborn 2?
That's also stupid.
Yeah, works.
The Reborning.
Yeah, see? It's fine.
No.
Destiny 2, whatever.
Whatever. I've learned that titles are stupid. And, you'll get over it.
Listen, yes. They bear no consequence on your actual enjoyment of whatever it is.
The Vita.
The Wii.
The PlayStation.
Nah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty
The
good.
Xbox.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent.
It's excellent.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn.
See?
Rolling out those puns.
Yeah, so there you go.
But yeah, it didn't show anything. It showed Nathan Fillion's character doing a hot monologue.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should take that as the game having a more comical tone. Like, from that teaser, it seems like it's going real Guardians of the Galaxy with it.
Yeah.
But that could also be that character, because that character in Destiny was all that.
Yeah. Some might say he's the best part of that game.
As someone who played Destiny longer than I did,
yeah,
what do you want from a Destiny 2?
I just want them to expand the world.
Like, you don't want the little isolated zones?
Like, I just want them to expand the world, because there's tons of lore, there's tons of interesting things, and I want to be able to have more of a focus on exploration.
Okay.
Like, if they just Breath of the Wild Destiny, I'd be super happy with that.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if they kept the shooting mechanics, and yeah, we can go to the PvP arena zone, that's cool.
Yeah.
And, like, but I just want, like
having a useful reason for vehicles and stuff?
Yeah, like, because the worlds in that were just nothing more than a giant kill box.
Yeah, it might as well have been, like, a Diablo map.
Yeah. Like, I would have even rather taken just, like, a very structured corridor shooter, because, like Halo, because at least I kept moving, I kept seeing new things.
Come on, they had a lot of corridors.
Yeah, but it was awful. It wasn't good. It wasn't as good.
Yeah.
I just want them to do that. Like, give me something more along the lines of that. Like, build out the world. Like, when I go land on Earth, I don't want to just stay in this broken part ass of Russia. I want to go around the Earth.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I think I want like just a more fleshed out single player, or just well, the whole game's technically you can play it single player.
Yeah.
But like lore,
Yeah.
right? Like it had this whole thing of like there's the traveler and these dudes you can revive and
do stuff with,
and the world was set up to be cool.
Yep.
And they did nothing with it.
Yep.
And I was very disappointed.
Yep.
And all the cool stuff was hidden in like that Destiny app.
Yep.
Right? You had to link your account with the Destiny app and then you unlocked like codexes to read. Like, no, explain that to me.
Yeah.
Right? It was the Final Fantasy 13 problem of like, what's a Lissi and a Falsi? Oh, read the codex. No, I'm not going to do that. Your game's bad.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah, that's what I want. I would also say I would love more differentiation on the classes and the factions.
Okay.
Because, you know, in the first game, it was like, why do I pick this faction? So that I could buy their gun.
Yeah.
You know, like, I wish there was a reason why I sided with somebody. And I wish that...
And the loyalty to stay to one faction wasn't really anything, right?
I wish that, like, you know, the 3 classes that are there are cool, but I wish they were way, like, more specialized.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like... Because essentially you could get away with anything, with any class.
It was first-person shooter, except sometimes you had a flaming hammer, and sometimes you shot lightning from your hands.
Exactly, and I just wish it just, you know, you had a bit more than that.
That's fair.
Yeah. Obviously more.
Maybe like a skill tree?
Yeah.
Or do you want like Borderlands specking?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that would be cool. Like if there's a game to invest a bunch of hours in, I would like to be able to build a character.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, just I guess what you want out of Destiny is just more of everything.
Because it had less of everything in the first game.
It was like, this is... The thing about Destiny is, like, you start it and you're like, oh, imagine what this game is going to be like at the end when everything unlocks. But it never gets there.
Everything unlocks and you're like, imagine what it could be with 7 more expansions. And even then, it still didn't get there.
Yeah.
Fuck, that game sucked.
I am excited for the sequel because, you know, it was... Everything... I remember, like, everyone was saying this when the first one came out. It was like, imagine the sequel.
No! The game should have been good from the get-go.
I mean...
That's like... Listening to you talk about Destiny is listening to my friends talk about Final Fantasy 15. They're like, no, they're going to release a new Chapter 13. And it'll be better. It's like, it's too late. I finished it. I'm not playing it again.
I don't know. See, because I had the same thought about Titanfall. Like, I loved the first Titanfall, but make no mistake, imagine the sequel.
But Titanfall was always... They always told you from the jump, this is multiplayer.
Yeah.
And that multiplayer was fucking baller.
Yeah, it was. It certainly was.
So, yeah. Like, there's a difference between wanting a sequel for a game that's already hot, and there's a difference between wanting a sequel for a game that's full of broken promises.
Yeah, that's true. I think that Destiny, definitely towards where it is now, is still pretty good for what it is. Like, if I were to jump into Destiny today, having never played it, I don't think I would have been as pissed as I was.
I don't think that game is hot garbage, but I think it is regular garbage.
I see. I don't go that low.
Like, I think it's a nice, cool fall day, and it's just like a regular garbage can filled with not smelly garbage.
I don't know.
But like, if it was hot garbage, it'd be like a dumpster in the middle of summer.
See, I want to agree with you, but like,
and fish.
I don't know if there's a game out recently where I like the shooting mechanics better, or just like the feel of that game.
Really?
As much as I like Overwatch,
even like Halo 5,
it's not better than Halo 5. No,
you think Destiny's better than Halo 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
And in the way that game feels, totally.
I really enjoyed the Halo 5 shooting in that game. Maybe I haven't played Destiny in a while. Maybe I should go back and check it. But I don't remember it being anything spectacular.
I remember it being like, oh, this is where Halo was supposed to go, and that's why it feels fucking great. Because it was like, yeah, we gave you a jump jet, we gave you some abilities, and like, even the way that they had their abilities, like it was like you had such limited abilities to do, but every time you used one, you always felt like you knew what was going to happen. Like, and I never questioned it. It was like, it was the type of game where like, if I died, it's like, yeah, that was my fault. I know. Like,
okay,
you know, and like, they super nailed.
It never felt cheap. Like, exactly,
I'll say that. Yeah. Even just like the recoil on the guns, like when they told you like This one is fast, but it's going to be spread.
Jittery.
Like you understood what that meant, and it reflected well when you were pressing the buttons and shit.
It's no akimbo shotguns in,
No.
in Modern Warfare 2?
It's not that.
Okay,
no,
all
no.
right.
No, I never got that sense of euphoria, but no.
All right. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the only way I'm going to get Destiny 2 is if I just overwhelmingly hear from people that this game is great. Like, I am not there day
What if
one.
a copy just shows up on your door?
Then I didn't buy it, so it's fine.
Oh, but you'll play it.
I'll play it.
All right, sounds good. All right.
I won't spend money on it.
All right, that's okay. That's fine.
All right.
I'll just tell your dad.
He won't buy it.
You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. I'll get him to do it. Don't you worry.
All right.
Cool. I think that's it for our picks.
Yeah, it was a pretty packed week.
Yeah, because man, like we're approaching an hour now.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our weeks, and thankfully I don't have a lot to go through.
Okay.
So Mass Effect Andromeda, I played a little bit.
Are the facial animations as weird as they look?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, they are.
But like what like how far have you got? How much have you played?
Like 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay. It's like did you get like off the starting area or are you
Nope.
still tutorialing or
Yep.
Damn, 2 hours of tutorial?
No, I've been moving real slow.
Oh, okay.
This is one of those games where it's like, I want to look at everything.
You want to talk to everybody?
Yeah, I want to go through all the options.
I heard the pictures that accompany dialogue wheel choices are hilarious.
Yeah.
There was one about sex and it's literally a finger pushing through a hole.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember Mass Effect 1?
Yeah, that game was great.
A lot of people so Mass Effect 1 is the most polarizing Mass Effect because it is the one that is definitely half RPG, half action game.
Yep.
And from there, Mass Effect went on into more action game, and that's when it got super popular.
Yep.
What if I told you in another reality, Mass Effect went more RPG?
That sounds great.
But it kept the bugs from Mass Effect 1.
That sounds terrible.
That's Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh man.
Mass Effect, so on its own, I would say Mass Effect Andromeda is a great game from what I've played. It's just that Mass Effect 1 came out 10 years ago, and this feels like it came out 10 years ago.
Yo, you know what that means?
What?
Mass Effect 1 is retro.
No. It's not 2 gens behind.
Or not 10 years or 2 gens.
Oh. Mass Effect 1 came out in September.
So you still got a couple more months
Yeah.
until
Yeah. I remember because I bought that game. I was super pumped for it and no one was talking about it.
Yeah, and Mass Effect 1, I think Mass Effect 1 is great.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's the impression I get from it, and I have no doubt that like in a couple months with patches and whatnot, it'll get better. But at the moment, the bugs and stuff, they might be there to put you off. But or if you really like Mass Effect, you're kind of still gonna be into it because at the end of the day, it's still Mass Effect.
I still think that bothers me today.
What?
That when people say, just wait for a couple patches,
Yeah.
then it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm your diehard fan, if I'm
Yeah.
someone that's excited to play this game day one,
Yeah.
why would you do me like that? Why'd you do me like that, bro?
I don't know.
Because I'm going to be the one playing it on day one. I'm going to feel that shitty experience, and it's
Yeah.
going to be a negative impact on your main consumer.
Yeah, for sure. It is that way. The bugginess, like, personally it doesn't bug me because it's single player.
Bug you.
It does make a difference in the multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where I spent most of my time.
So is it still horde mode?
It is, and it's way more class focused. But there's a way. It's a couple cool abilities.
Is it player class? Player fucking class?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like there's different classes, but it's not like you need to have all different classes to win.
Okay.
You just got to be good. But it's heavily gear based. So the more time you put into it, the better you are.
Or
Or
put hot dollars into that game.
You could totally buy
All right.
stuff. It's all about booster packs and whatnot.
Okay. Are there like burn cards, like one-time use? Oh,
Yep.
this thing you
Yep.
could get a boost.
Yep.
Okay, wow.
Yep, there are. There's
Jesus.
double XP cards. There's all, you name it, it's there.
Wow.
Yeah. I wish there's only 4 maps, which at the moment is fine. I assume like they've said that like they'll get more maps eventually, but like the 4 chips with are fine. it is super buggy in multiplayer, and I think that's its biggest problem. Like if it was just stable, I think it would be great. But there's enough like you're just warping around places.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes your stealth doesn't work.
Does it feel like it's the game, or does it feel like it's a server side thing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Like you could tell there's lag happening. Like there's a couple moments like there's no hit confirm here. There's just nothing.
Yeah.
And then you'll be warping, and then other times it's just like the game's kind of got buggy controls. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like it's so that's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I so far I'm into it. At least the single player. We'll see where we go from there. I'll definitely finish it. No worries. Next thing is Overwatch. Arissa's now in competitive play. She's my new main. She's
So
hot.
in our Google Doc, you put Orisa.
Yeah.
And that just reminds me, if anybody out there has played Clock Tower 3, your main character is his name Alyssa.
Oh.
And whenever someone is trying to get you, it's always Alyssa. That's all I was saying. Like as soon as you posted in the doc, I was like, Alyssa.
Yeah, no, Arissa's is really fun. She's great at where I'm currently at in competitive, which is platinum.
Okay.
Just because like her only weaknesses are flankers, which are Genji and Tracer.
Yeah.
And at that rank, there's no. It's very rare that you come across a really good flanker.
Okay.
So she definitely works on many, many different scenarios, and I just have a lot of fun playing her because her kit is just very varied.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of things you can do with her. That gravity ball, once you get good at it, like it is.
It seems really versatile, like just pulling people out of corners, grouping people together for ults.
Watching people you could just ring out people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could just pull them off the edge.
I didn't think about that either.
A lot of Overwatch characters have nothing. Most of the characters have no answer to that. Like you pull them off an edge, what are they gonna do?
How do you fight gravity?
Exactly. Like Tracer can do it if she has a recall.
Yeah.
Like
it's also the same thing with a Lucio. Like if you hit him with the shock blast, like the alternate fire, like what are you gonna do against that? And you just get blown into the air.
Yeah. So like Orisa's really fun. I love her shield. Her gun is amazing. I mean, it's not hit scan, but it fires fast enough that you get used to the lead out to it, and then it's like you could take down fars in the air. So that's fun. Yeah. So the Overwatch has been great. But I'm only doing like a couple matches, like a day, like one or two.
Okay.
Just because I'm waiting for an event.
Trying to maximize those loot boxes.
Kinda.
Right.
And then the last thing I did is remember Top Gear?
I do.
Remember how they're
on Amazon now.
No, that's the Grand Tour.
Oh, sorry, the Grand Tour. My bad.
I'm talking about Top Gear.
Oh, with Matt LeBlanc.
With Chris Evans.
And Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they tried to reboot Top Gear, and it kind of was like a little hit or miss.
Yeah. Well, didn't Chris Evans leave?
Yeah, so they rebooted it again. This time it's Matt LeBlanc and his two young cohorts.
Who are they?
Chris Harris and Rory something.
I don't know who any of those people are.
They're known in
the
Britain.
car world?
Yeah, and in Britain.
Okay.
But I really like them. They really know their stuff. And it's definitely all three of them. They revamped the studio. They kind of revamped a little bit of the structure of the show. And it definitely feels like they're trying to make it their own. It's not like, oh, we're going to try to bolt in 3 new hosts to replace the old ones in the same format. No. They really tried to make it their own. And so far I'm really enjoying it. Like it's fun. Like definitely it is not the Grand Tour and it doesn't feel like it, but they still try and cover the same sort of topics with the same sort of tone, and it's very entertaining.
So the thing that kind of put me off of wanting to watch the first rebooted Top Gear is you saying that they're trying to capture what the old Top Gear was with new people. Yeah. Right? And I'm like, all that's going to do is set me up for disappointment. Yeah. Right? It's just going to be like, hey, this is like here. Remember all those people you used to love? Yeah. They're still here. No, they're not. Yeah. Right? And so now that you're saying that this is like kind of, it's the same format, but their own spin on it. Yeah. That sounds pretty great.
Yeah, you know, like when you watch the Grand Tour or the old Top Gear, it's like you'll watch it because you're like, oh, these are the Three Stooges in the car world. This one, like the new Top Gear, is not that. It is. These are two really hip. No, I'm not gonna say hip, but younger, way more like serious into cars, and an American. Okay. And their dynamic is completely different.
Oh,
and that makes
yeah, all right.
that makes it more exciting to watch because it's like, yes, the type of content they're putting out is the same, but you're getting it from different people now.
And also, I assume the banter would be
Totally different.
not only totally different, but more interesting because it's not three Brits.
Yeah.
Like, you have people who grew up in different parts of the world,
Yeah.
and will have a different perspective on cars.
Yeah, and it totally helps that Matt LeBlanc is known for his role as Joey on Friends,
Yeah.
and like that he is the Hollywood A-lister,
Mhm.
and like that plays into it, and it's very interesting to see.
All right, I sidetrack. You ever watch his show Episodes?
His show,
Yeah, where he plays himself.
the parody of himself. Yeah, I tried watching the first couple of episodes.
Okay, I like that show a lot.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
Funny. This is sidetrack.
It's ending soon though.
I heard.
Yeah.
Well, he's got Top Gear now.
Yeah, that's true. He does get that. Yeah, but no, I definitely would recommend. Like, if anything, before it was like every year I would look forward to one season of Top Gear. Now it's like I got Top Gear and the Grand Tour. Like, it's a win-win.
Okay.
Like, if you love cars, but you don't like watch them in like the super hardcore serious mode, and you want to see them do like all these cool challenges and fun stuff, definitely watch it. I mean, like, because at the same time they're also still backed by the BBC, and the BBC has limitless funding.
True.
Yeah, this most recent episode they got to take out the new Bugatti, the Chiron.
Oh, really?
They were the only ones who were able to do it.
Wow.
Do you remember how I told you Ferrari has a super VIP mode where like they have cars that only they keep?
Yeah.
They have that one, but it's for the LaFerrari version.
Oh.
And you know what they called it?
What?
So the previous ones they called like the Enzo one they called the FXX.
Yep.
So for the LaFerrari, because it's a hybrid, and hybrid stands for like it's like kinetic energy, they called it the FXXK. So on the car it just says fuck.
That's great.
Yeah, so you see this red Ferrari that just says fuck on the side.
It's not some dude's vanity license
No,
plate.
it's fucking Ferrari.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's next to a horse, probably.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Terrible.
It's pretty good.
All right, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
How many episodes are these? They're one episode out, or
they're on episode 4. I didn't realize it came back in the beginning of March.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're on episode 4, just aired this week.
And weekly.
Weekly.
All right, that sounds great.
Yeah, check it out.
Cool. I've been like I did little bits of stuff here and there, but still more League.
Good.
Like, I'm debating on installing it again. Just like it's like an abusive partner. Just like, no, it still loves me. It's fine.
Oh my.
It's okay. I'm just stuck. I feel I'm having the syndrome where I feel like I'm playing well, but my teammates are holding me back.
Oh no!
I feel like a chump. I feel like
no.
and like hearing myself have. Whoa! I almost fell off my chair.
Yeah.
Feeling myself have that mindset. I feel like an asshole.
Are you an ELO hell?
I don't want to say that because
Are you an ELO hell?
No, I feel like if I say it, I am, and if I ever say those, like I'm getting the sports superstition, like I can't eat pasta on Thursdays because it'll make my team lose, right? I don't want to say certain things because I don't want to jinx certain things.
Oh my god, okay.
But I'm experimenting with other classes, and I've been having some
amazing time with it.
I'm having really fun times, right? The champs I still think are the most fun to play.
Yeah.
They're getting results.
Okay.
But the thing is that I play a lot of champions that aren't in the meta. So when I team up with other people, they don't know how to work with me or around me.
Or they just yell at you.
Or they, like, what will happen is that they just yell at me.
Yeah.
And I still have to say that League of Legends has the worst community, period.
Okay.
Like, outside of video games, comics, out of any form of media, I feel that League of Legends is the worst community, period.
Nice.
Like, there is no redeeming quality to that community.
Yeah.
It's just shit all the time.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's come to the point where I just don't deal with it anymore. As soon as I see one person flaming, not even me, like someone else, I just immediately muted. Like I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. Because it actually makes me angry.
Ah.
Like normally that kind of stuff, like water off a duck's back, like no problems. But when you get it every single match, right? It's the waves. They're coming in, and then all of a sudden you're deeper in the waves, and then it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but like The game, it's weird. The game's super fun. The people I play it with suck. So I don't know what to do. But I did watch a movie. I watched Equilibrium.
Okay.
It is. So I've always seen Equilibrium. If you ever heard the term gun kata,
yep,
that is where this came from. It is an old Christian Bale movie from the early aughts, and it is the most generic setup for a movie I've ever heard of. Imagine a world where emotion was holding people back because it started a third world war. And after that, America decided, hey, emotions are illegal.
Oh my God.
So the whole populace has to take these drugs to suppress their emotions.
What are you going on about?
And all art, culture, music is banned.
Oh my God.
And if you harbor paintings like the Mona Lisa, for example, you are committing a sense crime, which is punishable by immediate execution.
Wow.
Right? So then here comes Christian Bale. Christian Bale is an arbiter. He is the top brass. He is the best in the business at finding art, finding things that cause emotions, and destroying them.
Wow.
Right?
This guy sounds like a badass.
He's a badass. And he uses gun kata to fight.
Okay.
Right. The movie is so generic. And but it's got this magical timing with it. Gun kata. They describe it in the movie as moving in such a way with your body and your guns so that you have the minimum amount of hit radius when in a gunfight, but the maximum amount of kill zone.
Wow.
Right? So you're moving and like yoga posing yourself in ways where you're just always two headshotting people at the same time.
Did they actually say gun kata?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great. Right, and it's just a bunch of people in a training hall doing like half karate with guns.
I mean, it sounds good.
It's so dumb. But this movie has this magical timing where every single time there's story, it starts to grain on you. And just when you think you've had enough, and you're like, I'm going to shut this movie off. I'm done. Action. And it's like the coolest action you've seen. It's totally staged. Like Christian Bale does a good job of trying to make it look as good as it can. But there's certain scenes where like he'll slap a gun, like a shotgun out of someone's hands.
Yes.
Right? And the gun, without moving left or right, will just spin perfectly in a 180 axis in the middle. Like gravity doesn't exist. And the gun will be turned on the other guy and he'll shoot him in the face.
Wow.
Right? There's just like really dumb stuff like that. But they do really fun, really close quarters gun combat. The kind of stuff that, I don't know, you ever play Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
Right? You ever get like the two boss characters going at it, like Dante and a boss character? They're really close. It's that kind of stuff where like they're shooting pretty much point blank at each other's faces, but they're dodging and they're moving hands in a way where it'll just miss. Right? And they have a lot of cool stuff like that. The movie, again, the story, nothing to write home about, but the things they invent to make action scenes work. Let me tell you about weighted gun clips.
Okay.
Right? So imagine a gun clip with a weight on the bottom. I mean, you know, like those punching dolls? You know Teddy from the Persona 4?
Yeah.
Like the little ones where you bop it and it comes back up?
Yeah.
So imagine that, but on a gun clip.
Why?
So you could throw those into a hallway. So after you've unloaded all your guns, you do a front flip dodging gunfire, and then you can reload on the floor.
Oh.
It's so stupid. But it's so stupid, but it's great. It's on Netflix. I think it's a fun watch. I think you should watch it.
Wow.
It's the dumbest shit.
Okay.
It's so good. And just like seeing young Christian Bale, and you're like, man, you're Batman. Like, no wonder you're Batman. It's pretty funny. And then the other thing I did was I started playing old games again, and me and my friend got into a competitive Hydro Thunder competition. Hydro Thunder for the youngins. It is an old arcade game.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, it's an old arcade game where you're in a boat and it's like high speed boat racing, and there's like it's a midway game. So think of, I think the most modern equivalent would be something like Split Second or Burnout Paradise, even more so than Burnout Paradise. That levels are just made to look ridiculous and be like these eye catching things, like you're jumping off. Here, this level is New York that was leveled by a volcano that randomly grew, and now you can water race. Awesome, right? And it's supposed to be like high speed action all the time. So me and my friend just got into a thing. It's like we're gonna go on each track and try and get the best times possible, and then we'll report back and we'll be like, hey, what time did you get? What time did you get? What time did you get? And so I'm playing on the N64. Reminder: the N64 controller is probably the worst controller ever made. That controller sucks. But I got to deal with it. And I forgot how much I love that game. I really like those old style like Rush, like San Francisco Rush. And stuff
Rush
like
2049 is...
Rush 2049 is great.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Your car grows wings and you could stunt.
Yeah.
Right? So like that's actually I was talking about to my friend. I was like, man, all this game makes me want to do is buy a copy of Rush. Like I want to find a nice copy of Rush. But it's really fun. It's one of those things where I don't think you would like going back to it.
No,
you would not.
No.
But I really like high scores. I really like leaderboards and having that old school competitiveness. It's like me and my friend are having our own leaderboards, pretty much.
I see.
Right, and I'm trying to put my 3-letter initial above his 3-letter initial.
I think the only game I would do that with is F-Zero.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like any of them or?
Yeah,
GX?
probably Super Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know. I really like that game a lot. It's so, quote, extreme, unquote, right? You just hear the announcer, like, whenever you find a shortcut, like, oh, you found a shortcut, good job. Or, like, the police are always after you.
Well, why wouldn't they be?
Right? They're just like, you can't illegally boat race here, blah, blah, blah. You're, like, jumping over dams. You're knocking trains. Like, your boat is indestructible. You're knocking helicopters out of the air.
Yeah.
You're, like, pretty much the Niagara Falls, like, tour boat is in one of the levels, and like you could just run through that.
Aww.
Right? And then the boost works. If you don't remember, it's like there's boost icons, and you get seconds of boost. If you get a blue one, it's 4 seconds, and if you get a red one, it's 9 seconds. So the whole thing of the race is finding the optimal route to get the most boosts while still keeping a clean track turn. But also, there's behind every waterfall there is a hidden shortcut. So very N64. Behind every waterfall there is a secret. So. It's both a nostalgia trip and just fun. I really like Hydro Thunder. I think it held up as an arcade racer.
Cool.
So yeah, that's been the new stuff in my week.
Neato. No Kamen Rider this week.
Nope.
But I do have one more thing I want to talk about. Very short.
Tell me all about it.
I finally got the curse of the Breath of the Wild off my back.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you get all 120 shrines?
No, but I beat the game.
Okay.
That final boss.
Oh, okay. If you don't want to hear Breath of the Wild spoilers, the podcast ends now.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace out. See you next week. We got Kamen Rider for you next week.
Yeah.
I want to talk full spoilers about Breath of the Wild. So
okay.
I want to give the audience their chance to bow out.
Okay.
All right. If you want to follow us, we got the Facebook page. We got the Twitter that just regurgitates the Facebook page. So 3 News in the Basement.
Yeah.
You can follow Vince on Twitter too.
Yeah, I'm somewhere.
Yeah, you're at Vince Sanchez, and I'm at Kilroy Can't Kill.
Yeah.
So that's it. Game over. It is now time. I gave you your chance. It is now Zelda Breath of the Wild talk.
Okay.
Go.
Man.
Okay. First, before you get to the final boss, what did you think of Hyrule Castle?
So I explored Hyrule Castle, like the back end of it, very extensively earlier on in the game.
Okay.
So Hyrule Castle is cool. Pretty cool setting.
I think that's the only thing that feels, the only thing in the game that feels like a classic Zelda dungeon.
Yeah.
Like there are no puzzles, really.
But the exploration factor.
Yeah.
So that's what's fun. I guess I'm a bit bummed out that like I didn't have to go through a dungeon to get to Ganon.
Okay.
I walked up to the castle door, opened it, and I saw these waterfalls. I'm like, I'm just gonna waterfall my way up.
Swim up this shit.
And so I did. And then there's the main entrance, and you see it, and I'm like, okay, that must be, the starting to this path to Ganon. And you walk in, and it's like, nope.
Here he is.
Boss mode. And I'm like, oh, that's it? And I kind of was super bummed out by that.
So I did the long way around. I saw those waterfalls.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I want to farm parts.
Oh,
right?
for the things.
For the ancient
the
armor
Guardian?
and stuff. Yeah, I want to farm Guardians. Yeah. So I went through I went in the main entrance.
Yeah.
I walked up the main path.
Yeah.
I went through I fought all the Lionels.
Yeah.
Right? And so that felt more like a dungeon to me. But it also felt more of like a trial of combat things. Yeah. And less like a Zelda dungeon.
Yeah.
But it didn't affect me in like a negative way. By the time I got to the game, and I was like, okay, that was like a trial. It's fine. Yeah. Nothing else in the game has been like this. So
yeah. So yeah,
been like classic Zelda.
Right. So you get in, and the way the boss intros himself is super cool.
Is gets birthed.
Yeah, and then the way they frame the scene of his face in your face, and then his name appears, and his name is Calamity Ganon, and you're like, oh shit.
He looks the thing was the design lives up to the name.
Yeah,
when you hear about Calamity Ganon, like hot damn.
Yeah. And you see him and you're like, yeah, no, you're the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yep. Yep. Understand.
Yeah. And that fight, I saw his life bar and I'm like, oh man, okay, cool, let's get this show rolling. And then because I got all the shrines, it goes halfway mode.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That was cool. Like it just shot, like it rained lasers on him.
Yeah. And so then you get to fight him with half life. And one swipe of the Master Sword, and I'm like, oh no, he has a lot of life. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is going to be a while, or at least I thought it would be. But I just fucking stun-locked him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Like, it was a combination of static.
Okay.
The static ability. And when that was charging, I used the ability that does the thunder. When you charge up your weapon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
okay, use that, and locked him again. And I kept doing that until he got to the final phase where he goes all fire and he shoots beams at you.
And he's all like immortal. But the thing is, the lightning still works in that phase.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was the thing. In the boss fight where he becomes like invincible or whatever.
Yeah.
The Goron.
Yeah.
Temple.
Yeah.
I never actually figured out how to take that armor off him because all I did was I just waited until the move was done, and I lightninged him, and he fell to the ground. That's all I did.
Oh.
I just ran in circles for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. Fuck it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I don't know how to do that. So that's what I did for the final boss too, and it worked.
Yeah. So I did that. So when he turned into all fire mode, he shot lasers at me. So I was like, this is easy.
Perfect guard.
I just perfect guarded him, and then it went down, and I'm like, that's it. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm assuming there's a phase 2, and sure enough, there's a phase 2.
Where he's Beast Ganon.
And I gotta say, the atmosphere and the visualization of that entire boss mode was amazing.
Yeah.
But actually what you have to do was so boring.
Yo, hit the weak spots.
Oh, like Zelda's like, by the way, here's the bow of light.
It's got look at this attack damage, you should probably use it.
You don't need arrows anymore.
Just you shoot courage.
When he gets weak randomly, you don't even have to hit him. Just shoot him in the spots and do it. So yeah, that was super dull.
Yeah.
And at the last one, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna shoot him with the arrow. Because the last one opens up in like his forehead, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm diving in with the Master Sword.
Okay.
So
does it not let you do it?
No, it lets you do it.
Oh.
It took me forever.
Does the cutscene change?
No, but like you know how it just ends with you. It just ends with you froze. Like when you beat him, like you know how like everything freezes.
Yeah.
And he dies. You're just there with the sword holding out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then it does the whole light animation.
All right.
But yeah, so the actual boss fight, I was kind of really bummed out about. I was like, that's it?
I thought Calamity Ganon, separate from aesthetics, was the weakest part of that game.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I guess for me, like, I was thinking about the castle in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're like, you gotta go through this castle, and then you gotta fight Ganon. And Ganon has, like, a specific sequence, right? You have the mirror shield, you have the shooting back the light ball, right?
I don't know. Light volleyball wasn't the greatest.
No, but it felt like this boss fight was more than just hit him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The light arrow, whatever, then you go hook shot to him so you can beat on his face.
Yep.
And hook shot back. And then when you beat him, you gotta run down that castle. With this one, it was just like, somehow you get out of the castle.
You warp.
Yeah.
You do the boss warp.
I felt so lazy to me.
So the thing I thought why I thought that game or the final boss battle was weak.
Yeah.
Was that nothing I did in the other dungeons culminated to something that happened in the boss fight other than me getting a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
Right? I got half life.
Yeah.
Whereas in, again, Ocarina of Time, we'll use that as an example, stuff I get from other people, I feel that Hyrule has helped me defeat him, right? I got the hook shot, I got the bombs, I got the mirror shield, I got all this stuff from other people in this breathing, living world, and it all culminated in this final battle.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, like, I could, if it wasn't for 3 hearts, I could have beat him from the get-go.
I feel like I could have beat him with 3 hearts, because I also went to this fight with 10 fully cooked 5 durians.
Oh, really?
So each one of those gives me plus 20 hearts.
Oh, okay.
So, like, life was never an issue for me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You never used Mipha's Grace?
No.
Oh,
I never needed it. So, yeah, it was pretty simple. Yeah. Well, that was kind of a bummer. The actual ending to the game, I wish there's more to it.
I thought it was also disappointing.
Yeah.
The way I wanted that game to end, I thought would have been really cool, and they didn't do it.
What?
Which is, dude, you've been asleep for a fucking 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted it to be Zelda's literal last breath.
Yeah.
Is sealing Calamity Ganon.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why is she still your age?
Yeah.
Like, what is she? She's in like some magic time chamber.
Probably.
Right? Like, it would have been awesome if Zelda revealed herself and she was just a fucking old lady. Right? And she's just like, I have been holding out for you this whole day. I truly believed you would come for me. Right? And then, like, final moments, seal Ganon, dies in your arms. But again, it's a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
And
like,
they would have done that.
It sort of ends and it's like, now you and me are going to go on our adventure.
We're going to have a honeymoon.
And it's just like, okay, that's cute. And, like, Zelda does, like, the cute anime girl thing of, like, smiling. And
we're back together.
Yeah. And they're like, we're going to rebuild Hyrule. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's a very generic ending. I don't know what I expected from it.
Yeah.
I just felt like the way the world was that, like, I just wish there was something different.
Yeah.
Right? The rest of Zelda is so much different from previous Zeldas.
Yeah.
For the story to be almost exactly the same was very disappointing. Yeah.
Do you know how in Mass Effect 3 people hated that ending?
Yeah.
And I can never relate to that. I feel like now I understand what they were feeling with this game.
Okay, in what?
In the sense that, like, I felt super robbed by this pretty generic ending.
Okay, all right.
Right? But I think it's more to the fact that, like, because it clearly goes on, this game. Like, it goes on and it doesn't really change the world. It's just...
Now, like, Moblins are still there.
Yeah.
Now just the Guardians are gone.
Yeah.
Right? There's still bad shit happening.
Yeah. But, oh well.
Yeah, do you think you're gonna go back and get all the shrines?
No.
No, really?
No.
I'm at about 90 something now. I heard there's 120.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna try for them. Not all the seeds.
No.
Fuck
you don't want all 900?
I don't want all 900 seeds. I'm out.
All right.
Right. But I still have a lot of fun exploring that world. Like, even after the game started, even after you get that clear save. Just, like, checking out new places I've never seen before. Checking out where weird shrines are. Figuring out puzzles and stuff.
Yeah. Beating the game for me did the thing that I thought it would do, and that is... I don't know if I'll go back to it.
You're just done?
Yeah. Like, I'm okay now. I mean, like, make no mistake, before I beat it, I did do most everything I wanted to do.
Yeah, your shrine count was way up there. And didn't you say, like, your final game clock was, like, 60 hours?
Yeah, I think on the thing it says 65, maybe even 70. So, yeah, like, I did do a lot, and I feel like I'm good.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's a long time to spend with the game.
Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted more of in that game?
Uh,
Like anything that maybe you wanted more fleshed out story wise, gameplay wise,
yeah,
anything like because we've talked on and on about how great it is. Like I kind
yeah.
of want to get into like kind of what maybe bothered us.
I do think like it would have been neat if there were a bit more structured events to it.
Okay,
Uh,
like Terrytown.
no, you know how when you first meet, what's his face, the Zora Prince.
Oh, Sidon
Yeah, and he makes you go through
or
the
Sidon.
through the whole hike to get to Zora thing.
Yeah,
I wish there was like you know how like that was structured. Like you go a couple places, then he shows up
he
and
shows
like
like, hey, Gabe, what's up?
I wish there was more just things like that in the
Yeah.
world. You know, like because I felt like other than that, I felt like I was kind of just wandering around and arriving at places at my own leisure.
Especially in the Ruto dungeon.
Yeah.
Where you go to Ruto Village and they're like, yo, homeboy's at the archery range. You shoot 5 targets and they're like, okay, let's go beat the boss. And
Yeah.
it's like, what? What
Yeah.
just happened? I don't
Yeah.
know who you are.
Yeah.
There's no backstory here.
Yeah, like I do wish like I had a bit more scripted scenarios is what I'll say.
Okay.
You know? I don't think like that would like I get it. They tried to be like, no, it's open world, you gotta do it at your own pace, but sometimes it's nice to have, you know.
Also, the Zorro thing was a perfect way to combine both.
Yeah.
Right? You got to a point and it's like, hey, but you're still in this world. Like, I didn't follow that path the whole way.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of times where I just climbed on top of a mountain
Yeah.
and just paraglided across an ocean or something and skipped like a big chunk.
Yeah, but it still is sort of like half scripted. Like I wish the game had more of that for story sequences. Yeah, we've ragged about the menu and the inventory system. That could be better.
Yeah. Cooking.
Yeah, I really would have liked to have seen what Hyrule Castle and its like surrounding village would have looked like.
I'm sure that's DLC. Like,
yeah,
like they got the picture with the models in it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be DLC.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of the Yiga clan. Right.
Oh yeah, you just
get it with Gerudo.
Yeah.
You go to their hideout. You fight their boss. It's not sure if he's dead or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then they just happen to be random enemies once in a while. Like you're walking and then you hear the ninja poof.
Yeah.
Right. Like their obsession with bananas was hilarious.
Yeah.
You find the banana room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of wish there was more of that.
I guess the only other thing I would say is more social events within the world.
Okay.
Whether that means, you know, like, oh, at some point in the story, like one of the villages has a certain festival they have to do, or like, or some sort of event, or even if you're just going along the world and you meet up with like a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like in Skyrim, sometimes like a whole huge quest chain will just evolve from meeting somebody randomly in the world.
Dark Brotherhood.
Like, I wish Zelda had something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard not to think of like the great things other open world games have done.
Yeah.
Like even though this is like the Zelda's first outing, you're kind of like, hey, you have all this inspiration. Like you took Ubisoft Tower, so you might as well take some other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But overall,
I still think it's amazing. I think it definitely. Yeah, I mean, like, I want to say it's my favorite Zelda.
the more I play it, the more I'm like, this is the best Zelda game.
Yeah.
Like just strictly.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's my favorite just for personal reasons. Just like I think Majora's Mask was so unique and it did like being able to turn into a Goron, a Zoro, a Deku, like all that stuff is too cool for me to be like my favorite. But I know for sure that
it's the best playing Zelda.
I think it's the best Zelda game like gameplay wise, but it's not my personal favorite.
Yeah, there are things about Ocarina that I still like better. For example, the final boss and
dungeons.
Yeah, that's just the way that whole scenario is laid out.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm like, why did you get rid of dungeons altogether? Like, I understand being able to tackle it in any way you wanted to. Didn't A Link Between Worlds do that?
Yeah.
Right. You could just, but they still had like here's a classic setup. But they threw it out in a way where it's like when I went to go to the Great Beasts, it's like they were trying to recreate dungeons, but they were like super neutered versions.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, here's a couple more shrine puzzles just outside of a shrine.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't feel like anything special.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like the dungeons to me aren't there to keep me from the boss. They're there to tell me how important what I'm doing is to the storyline.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fact that I have to go through these trials to get to this person is because they're very important.
Yeah.
And then when I do something, it'll change something drastically within the world.
Yeah.
Whereas in Breath of the Wild, I would beat a divine beast, and then it would sit on top of a mountain.
Yeah. Like, I agree. Like, I've never understood the need of why they wanted to make dungeons a non-sequenced thing.
Yeah.
Like, because it just means that all the dungeons have to be, to me at least, the dungeons all seem a bit more limited in their scope.
Yeah.
Because you have to make sure that the player isn't relying on a weapon or an item from a previous dungeon that they might have not tackled.
Mm.
And I think that's why I like classic Zelda compared to this.
All right.
A bit more. Like, those were one of the things, like, but that's just me, right? Like, at the same time, I still think, like, I had tons of fun at this game, so, like, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really easy to pick on small things when a game is so great.
Yeah.
Right? Just like when something is so polished and so nice, any little kind of gripe you have with it becomes bigger because you're like, everything else is so good.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Can't wait for the sequel.
You think they'll do like a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild?
No. I can't wait for the next Zelda game, we'll say.
Do you think that they'll keep the open world?
Yes.
Really?
I think they will take all the criticisms to heart. I mean, come on, this is like, why would they go back to the original formula when they have this?
What if they're too scarred?
I would love it if they just had this open world, but they brought back sequential dungeons.
Oh, even like you want sequential dungeons?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, listen, you can only go to this dungeon first.
Okay. I still really like the idea of being like I could just go to the Goron city if I felt like it right from the get go.
No, I still think you can go anywhere you want. I just think that, like, maybe.
Wouldn't you feel shitty though, like if you made it to like the third dungeon and they're like, hey, whoa, chill. I heard there's a dungeon over there.
I don't know. This game is fast travel. I don't care.
Okay. That's
right?
fair.
It's easy for later.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, the biggest problem with this game is there's no long shot.
Yeah, I kind of want to like hook to stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like climbing stuff is fine, but it's like I don't want to back out, re-equip all the climbing gear, go back in. Oh, look, it started raining. Awesome.
No, you know what I want? I want to hook it up so I could take weapons out of the enemy's hands.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Right. Or even just to like take food. Like I don't want to fight moblins.
Yeah.
Or like I don't want to cut down trees for apples. Just fucking hook shot apples down to me.
Yeah. That'd be cool. For sure.
Hook shot cuckoo. Did you see the gif of someone throwing a cuckoo at a moblin?
Oh yeah.
And the moblin just got fucking demolished by cuckoos. That was cool. So yeah, it's just the fact that this game has every time I talk to someone, it's always there's something new, there's something great. But there's a couple things that I wish it fleshed out more.
Yeah, I have no doubt that, like, I don't know if I'll play a better game this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I know I'll probably love Nier.
I'll probably love Persona 5.
I'll probably love Persona 5.
But I don't know. Like, this game was just, like, I cannot stress enough how amazing this game was.
I also didn't see it coming. Like, I knew Zelda was going to be somewhat of a great quality, but like to come, it's like we said before, it's weird seeing and playing something that you know down the line will be a classic. Like this will be a game that like might be one of those like timeless things. Like, hey, 20 years from now, you should probably play that game on the Switch, or like you should probably play that remake of this game. It's great.
Yep.
So
definitely
it's really good.
All right then.
That's it.
That's it. This was a long one this week.
Peace.
Yeah. Bye.